Hey friends, Cinema Recapped here. Today I will explain to you an American superhero and fantasy movie called Underdog. The movie starts in the capital city Hall. There is a man exhibiting the unsolved crime files. He appears to be the mayor of the city. There are also trained dogs that are used to assist the police. A beagle on the police bomb squad named Alpha Dog unexpectedly barks because he smells something in one of the boxes. As a result, everyone in the room is instantly secured out of the building. Meanwhile, the police and SWAT are sent to the room to check the contents of the box. It turns out that it was just a piece of meat. Accordingly, everyone in the room laughs at Alpha Dog, as well as the other dogs who start to mock him at last. The embarrassed Alpha Dog immediately leaves the building. Outside, he takes off his police uniform and starts walking aimlessly. Unexpectedly, a man takes him somewhere and locks him up in a cage. There, he meets a hairless dog and asks him what this place is. The hairless dog replies that during the day this place is a dog sanctuary, while at night everything will be different. The scene shiftings into a man named Dan Unger who wants to go to work. He works as a security guard in a research laboratory. Not long after, Dr. Simon comes to the place. He is a genetic scientist. Even though the lab is already closed, Dr. Simon is still authorized in as he has full access to the laboratory. Then he is escorted by his assistant named Kadlaki. They arrive at a room where Alpha Dog is located and nearby is a fairly large laboratory. Bitter that his proposal for genetic experimentation was decreased earlier, Dr. Simon plans to prove the mayor wrong by testing his new serum on Alpha Dog. Cad then takes Alpha Dog from the cage. Since Cad doesn't keep an eye on him, he instantly tries to escape from the lab. Chaos begins to occur until he is spilled by various kinds of chemical liquids. Dr. Simon notices something strange occurrence to Alpha Dog's body. Surprisingly, he is able to break the lab door and escape from the place. On the other hand, Dr. Simon is happy and says that his research has been successful, but unfortunately, he has to be hit by the monitor and a fire halts out in the lab. After his escape, Alpha Dog is able to avoid an encounter with a Rottweiler named Riff Raff and his lackeys who want to beat him up. While he is running away, a car accidentally hit him from the front, but thanks to the serum, he is unharmed. It turns out that it is Dan who hit him just now. Then he decides to take Alpha Dog home, noticing that he is so cute. The following morning, Jack Unger, Dan's son, is seen writing a fake hospital permit not to go to school. After a while, Dan calls him from outside and shows him the Alpha Dog that he brought last night. He also names him Shoeshine after the dog licks his shoes. Nonetheless, Jack becomes jealous of Shoeshine's attention. It is disclosed that Dan retired from the police to spend more time with Jack after his wife's death, but he still seems busy lately. Afterwards, Jack leaves for school and Dan goes to work, leaving Shoeshine at the house alone. At that moment, he still does not realize his new powers. Thus, he accidentally makes a very large mess. After coming residence, Jack is surprised because his house became so messy. He then complains as he cleans up the house. After that, the guilt-ridden Shoeshine approaches him and apologizes because it was an accident. At first, Jack thinks it was his father's voice, but then he understands that it was his dog's voice. They are both shocked, causing Jack to run away from the house. After they reach a park, Jack and Shoeshine are talking about the weirdness earlier. On the other hand, Shoeshine is also amazed why Jack understood what he was saying before. Promptly after, they bond over their respective attraction to Molly and Polly, Jack's school friend and her dog. After the girls leave, Jack unintentionally finds a frisbee in the trash and throws it at Shoeshine. Then he is afraid by Shoeshine's incredible speed. Jack also tests his other skills and discovers that he has super strength, hearing, and aroma in the process. In fact, he can hear that now Molly and Polly are being robbed. He tells Jack about it, and they head straight for it. On his way, Shoeshine discovers that he also can fly. He becomes surprised as he is not able to control his new flying ability. In the end, he discreetly rescues them by defeating the robbers, and Molly calls the police about the robbery. Later, he returns home with Jack, making him promise to never reveal his powers in front of anyone else. They attempt to clean the house as soon as possible before Dan goes home. Shortly after, Cad shows up at the door with posters of Shoeshine, but Jack manages to fool him into leaving just before Dan comes home and discovers the mess. Meanwhile, Dr. Simon and Cad are looking for a way to recreate the serum. They eventually find a new lair beneath the city and also plan a robbery there to fund rebuilding of the former laboratory. The attending day, Jack says that his school baseball team has always been the underdog. Shoeshine is initially confused as to what the word meant, but then Jack explains the words to him. He also buys a book on how to train a dog for his manners. Because he has superpowers, Shoeshine effortlessly carries out the orders, such as sitting, lying down, and rolling over. As a gift, Jack gives him a collar with his name and Jack's home address on it. At night, Jack says the story about his father, who has received an award from the mayor for his bravery. They unexpectedly see Cad's heist on the news. Because of this, Jack convinces Shoeshine to intervene the robbery, just like saving Molly and Polly previously. At first, he is reluctant, but in the end he agrees with Jack. Coming there, Shoeshine disguises himself as a fish and eventually manages to save the hostages. Dr. Simon, who sees his action through the monitor, instantly informs Cad that the dog was his previous experimental subject. But because of his super strength, Cad chooses to escape from the place. The attending day, Shoeshine's heroic action last night is reported on the news. Nonetheless, he feels unhappy about it because he doesn't want his identity to be revealed. Jack has an idea and then suggests him to adopt the alias Underdog and becomes the city's resident superhero while donning a shrunken red sweater and blue cape as his disguise. His actions start to spread widely both in the newspapers and in the news. On the other hand, Molly is gathering evidence to find out who Underdog is. Furthermore, the mayor also announces to commemorate Underdog Day on a certain date. Meanwhile, Dr. Simon continually fails to recreate his serum. He desperately sends Cad to obtain a sample of Underdog's DNA. Then Cad disguises himself as an old woman who needs help. He falls from the top of the building, and at the right moment Underdog manages to save him. He uses the chance to tie the rope to his collar. Underdog ultimately understands that the person is Cad. Without further ado, he is able to run away from Cad. Cad fails to capture him, but obtains his collar, which contains his secret identity's name and address. Later on, Shoeshine is rebuffed by Polly, but he finally gets a date with her as Underdog. Soon, Dr. Simon and Cad are able to kidnap Dan at his house when Jack and Underdog visit Molly's house. At his laboratory, Dr. Simon forces Dan to call Underdog for help. Underdog, who hears Dan's help, instantly alerts Jack, and they attempt to save him. When they get there, Dan is still surprised when he knows that Shoeshine can talk like a human. Unluckily, Dr. Simon uses both Jack and Dan as hostages to convince Underdog to give up his DNA. He synthesizes Underdog's superpowers into pills and injects Shoeshine with an antidote to the serum, turning him into a normal dog. Moreover that, he also feeds the super pills to 3 trained German shepherds, causing them to have superpowers as well. He and Cad leave the family trapped in the sewers. Fortunately, Dan's police experience allows him to free everyone. They pursue Dr. Simon with a hypodermic needle restored with the antidote serum. At the city hall, Dr. Simon is able to take the mayor hostage. He also instructs Cad to attach a bomb rigged with a mind control serum to the roof while Molly and Polly quietly follow him from behind. Outside, Shoeshine still can smell the bomb. By conquering his self-doubt, he eventually enters the building despite having lost his superpowers. Unfortunately, Cat discovers Molly and Polly. He then captures them and ties them up. During a scuffle with Dr. Simon, Shoeshine accidentally rips open his pocket, causing his super pills to scatter on the floor. Thus, he instantly swallows a super pill, restoring his powers as before. Underdog temporarily incapacitates the German shepherds after he hears Molly and Polly call for help. But at the same moment, Dr. Simon ingests a pill and distracts him by tossing a shield like a frisbee. When the German shepherds recover, Underdog convinces them to turn on Dr. Simon, who has not treated them well all this time. While they restrain Dr. Simon, the Underdog comes out of the building and asks Jack for his costume. After an eternity, the mayor manages to get out from the building. Seeing the opportunity, Dan asks the mayor to reinstate and promote him so he can inject Dr. Simon with the antidote while arresting him. On the other side, Underdog scenes on the roof and saves Molly and Polly, instructing them to take the mind control serum to the police while he gets the bomb out of harm's way. He then takes the bomb and buries it deep underground just before it explodes. He tries to escape, but unluckily he gets caught in the eruption, launching him into space. Sadly, he is presumed dead when he falls back from outer space. Amidst a mournful crowd, he unexpectedly revives, leaving everyone overjoyed at the end. Later, Dan is replaced officially as a police officer, Dr. Simon and Cat are arrested for their crimes, and Shoeshine proceeds to protect the city as Underdog. And the end. If you are a lover of similar content like this, take a look at my various videos, and if you love it, please burst the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash the notification horn. Take sight of you in the next video.